In the previous lecture, we learned that documented information is the only way to prove compliance and to ensure that an ISMS delivers its intended outcomes. We also learned that for a successful implementation project, we have to make sure that all the necessary documentation is created and maintained. In this lecture, we are now going to discover what must be documented and what could be documented, which will help us to define the deliverables for an implementation project. Let's start by reviewing the difference between mandatory and additional documented information. Mandatory documented information is specifically required by the standard and must be in place to ensure compliance. On the other hand, additional documented information isn't required by the standard, but can be created by organizations if they find it useful or necessary for their unique and specific needs. Now, this mind map shows every piece of documented information that is explicitly required by the standard. This means if you want to be compliant with ISO 27001, this is the bare minimum of what you must present at the time of your certification audit. For better readability, here in the form of a table. Now, some of the documented information listed here are actual documents. For example, the scope of the ISMS or the information security policy as required by clause 4.3 and 5.2. These are standalone documents and everybody has an idea of what they should look like. But let's pick, for example, the nature of non-conformities and any subsequent actions taken. Is this necessary a single document? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe it's a number of tasks. Maybe it's a number of tickets in a ticket system. Maybe it's a document in combination with tickets, with tasks, with email, with communication. We don't know. And same, for example, for the results of information security risk treatment. I mean, this can be a risk treatment plan that is updated and stating that the risk treatment has been done, but this could also be a list of tickets or the actual results of the risk treatment. For example, if you have risks that affect the physical security, this might include, let's say, a door, a physical access control system, and so on. So it's pretty diverse of what to expect in terms of the documented information that is required for the standard. Attached to this lecture, you can find a list which contains the mandatory documented information as listed on this slide and a number of possible, I repeat, possible additional policies, processes, procedures, records, and so on that many organizations, I would say, deem as necessary or useful while implementing an ISMS. Remember, in the end, it's up to you to decide what's necessary or not. And it's completely up to you what these records look like. But the mandatory documented information, as shown on this slide, is a non-negotiable. You have to have it if you want to pass an external audit.